Ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor to now invite towering statesman and visionary leader to the stage. The Most Honorable Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad is Malaysia's longest-serving Prime Minister, having led the nation through two defining eras from 1981 to 2003 and again from 2018 to 2020. Under his leadership, Malaysia experienced rapid modernization with landmark achievements such as the North-South Expressway, KLCC, KLIA, and Putrajaya. Tun Dr. Mahathir is also a thought leader in the Islamic and developing world, known for his bold principled stance on global issues and for championing the rights and the global South.
In 2009, I had the privilege of attending a speech by Tun in London at the Malaysia Hall. On that occasion, Tun spoke about the radical idea of criminalizing war. The logic was simple. If causing the death of one person is a crime, then surely causing the death of hundreds, thousands, and even millions in war must also recognize as a crime. The inevitable and overarching emphasis then, as remains today more than ever, was on Palestine and Gaza. And just as Tun has been, Muhammad Assad too was an ally and advocate for justice for the Palestinians against oppression and occupation. It is therefore with great honor that we now invite Yang Amat Berbahagia, Tun Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad, to deliver his keynote address and to officially launch the unpublished letters of Muhammad Assad.
Please welcome.
Yang Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Mia Sadiq of Hamid Jewels, Tuan Haji 𝐾𝐀𝐁𝐿 of the Islamic Book Trust and publisher of Muhammad Assad's The Message of the Quran. Datuk Dr. Ahmad Farouk Musa, founder and director of the Islamic Renaissance Front, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to share some thoughts at such a distinguished occasion. It is meaningful for it affords us the rare privilege of engaging with the work of one of the most prominent and remarkable Muslim thinkers of our time. Indeed, Muhammad Assad, once Leopold Weiss, was a significant Muslim intellectual of the modern era. His works are still widely read. While The Road to Mecca is a spiritual biography and travel memoir, The Message of the Quran, his magnum opus, is valued for its linguistic precision and philosophical clarity. In his Islam at Crossroads, one finds a critique of Western cultural dominance, both sharp and articulated with clarity. But amongst them, one treasure is often overlooked, his unpublished letters. These writings offer a lesser explored yet invaluable insights into Muhammad Assad as a person. It is for these letters that we are here today. Ladies and gentlemen, actually, I am reminded that on the 9th of December 2009, I was invited by both the Islamic Book Trust and the Islamic Renaissance Front to talk at an event commemorating Muhammad Asad at Mount Chiara Securities Commission. At the event called A Tribute to Muhammad Asad was when the Islamic Book Trust first announced its intention to republish the message of the Quran by Muhammad Asad, complete with an index. Hence, there is a sense of déjà vu today, and it is truly wonderful to get the opportunity to again discuss the intellects of Muhammad Asad. Ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Asad is remembered for many things. His profound insights of the Quran, his pivotal role in the early formation of Pakistan, and his enduring legacy as a translator and thinker. The message of the Quran remains one of the most influential English translations to this day. There is one theme in most of his writings that continues to capture our attention. He challenged the prevailing narrative of a declining Muslim world and advocated for a revival that emphasizes critical re-engagement with the Quran and the Prophet's legacy rather than blind imitation. However, his unpublished letters scattered across various archives add nuance to this legacy. They are personal, raw, and remarkably precise. Ladies and gentlemen, these unpublished letters, many held in private collection and archives, particularly in Pakistan, some in Europe and others in Malaysia, hidden in the archives of the International Institute of Islamic Thought and Civilization. In his correspondence, we find him wrestling with the challenges of translating divine revelation into modern language. He worries about how young Muslims will make sense of Islam in an increasingly materialistic world. He voices his frustration over political opportunism in post-colonial Muslim nations. But most importantly, these letters convey his enduring belief in Islam as a moral, spiritual, and intellectual force, a belief that he upheld even amid isolation and personal hardship. I was reminded of something he wrote in a letter to a close friend. Asad wrote, and I quote, "The essence of Islam is not in rituals alone, but in the moral vision it inspires. The modern Muslim must reawaken the ethical fire that once lit the world." These letters, first published in the Journal of Islamic Science in Pakistan, and now compiled into a book by both the Islamic Book Trust and Islamic Renaissance Front, are a crucial piece of Asad's puzzle. They provide not just commentary on geopolitics or theology, but also a philosophy of reform, integrity, and enduring struggle of the believing mind. Ladies and gentlemen, While Assad never resided in Malaysia for long periods, his intellectual legacy influenced this nation in profound ways. A few scholars had the privilege of engaging with Assad during his visit to Malaysia. One of them, as noted in the book's preface, is Mr. Fadlullah Wilmot, who is currently a director at the Islamic Renaissance Front. He recounts that it was during his journey towards Islam that he had the honor of meeting Assad, whose visit was arranged by a Malaysian benefactor. This benefactor had provided Assad with a home during the final years of his life. I believe this benefactor was most likely the late Allahyarham Tun Datuk Patinggi Haji Abdul Rahman bin Yaqub. May Allah bless his soul. In the 1980s and 1990s, Malaysian scholars and Islamic thinkers frequently cited Assad's ideas. His translation of the Quran was widely used in academic and da'wah circles. Assad's influence in Malaysia can also be traced through his correspondence with scholars in Southeast Asia. Some of these letters, recently discovered in private collection in Kuala Lumpur and Penang, reveal his admiration for the Malay commitment to Islam and cultural authenticity. In one such letter from 1983, Assad wrote, "Of all the Muslim lands I have visited or heard from, the Malays may yet show the world what Islam looks like when rooted in humility and harmony, rather than in noise and power." Ladies and gentlemen, Muhammad Assad was more than a writer, and neither is he a mere diplomat nor a traveler. He was a bridge between Islam and the West, between tradition and modernity, between revelation and reason. His works, including what used to be his unpublished letters, provide us with ideas, concepts, values, and the moral compass in moving forward as Muslims. There may be those who disagree with some of his views, but if we remind ourselves that Assad is a man driven with humility and sincerity, then we will appreciate them regardless. On that note, I hope what we have shared today stay with us and continue to shape how we think and live. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower Muhammad Assad with all his blessings. I thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.